You can smell what the rock has got.
Thank you everyone for showing up, helping us out, finish the food. So we just want to go through right now a quick presentation where we're going to just highlight a few things about Ramadan, what Eid is, things like that, right? So it's hopefully you know this stuff. But yeah, just last slide to the other. So we're going to do introductions.
I didn't know you were on slide.
What is Ramadan?
No, I was either.
A lot of people have questions about Ramadan, so we'll talk a little bit about what are the usual etiquettes about Ramadan guide, even though we finished this year. Maybe for next year, people can think about it. What is Eid as such? The end of Ramadan mostly, and some celebration with Ranger Eid, Ramadan celebration. You'll see some pictures, some fun videos, hopefully, and we'll end it with some videos from the team. Then we'll, if you have time enough, we'll open for question and answer. Any difficult question, Maria will handle it. She's certified. This is not being recorded, hopefully. Yeah, so we can start something.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Kazmi. And so thank you all for being here today. Muslims celebrate Ramadan Eid across the globe. So there's over 1.7 billion Muslims worldwide and 3.5 billion live in the United States. Ramadan is, we can go to the next slide. Perfect. So Ramadan is the 9th month of the Muslim lunar calendar. By lunar calendar, that means that every month of the Muslim calendar starts on a full moon. So every year, the date is different. It depends on when the full moon is. And then, so it never falls on the same time of the year. And when you're fasting in the month of Ramadan, that means you wake up right before dawn, you eat, and then you do not eat until after sunset. And by eating, it also includes drinking. So you cannot drink water, you can't have anything, can't even chew gum. So it's very, very strict. So when the morning meal is come, it's called sahur. So these days we're waking up around 4:30 a.m. In the winter time, you wake up even earlier.
Waking early, that's when you stop.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So
You
we're,
wake up at 4:30, I don't know what you're doing.
yeah, sorry. So 4:30 is when you are done eating, so you have to wake up earlier. So when Ramadan falls in the winter, you're waking up even earlier because, or no, actually you're waking up later. In the summer, you're waking up earlier. Yeah. Evening meal. So when you can break your fast, that's called iftar, and that's happening around 7:30. So Muslims this year we're fasting from 4:30 to 7:30. And you can't have any water throughout the day. Fasting is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So Muslims are required to do 5 things. Let's see if I get them right. Pray 5 times a day. You have to fast in Ramadan. You have to perform the pilgrimage of Hajj. You have to give zakat, which is taxes, and
It's charity.
charity. Sorry, what's the last name?
Believe.
Huh?
You have to.
Oh, you have to believe, and yeah, your faith. So the purpose of Ramadan. So why do Muslims fast? Muslims fast to make us more aware of what our blessings are, and to make us also aware of what the people who don't have all the things that we have, how do they survive? So it's to make you more aware of poverty, of people that, you know, don't have everything, and all the blessings and the things that we take for granted. So it's to make you appreciate that. And Ramadan isn't just about fasting, staying away from food. It's also about your behavior. So you should fast from you should abstain from cursing. You should abstain from misbehaving, as I would tell my kids. So it's a lot of those things. So it teaches us patience and how to be aware of the less fortunate. And Ramadan is also the month of charity. So a lot of people will give to charity, will either send money, or people will give food to the less fortunate. And the people that are exempt for fasting is children, elderly, pregnant women, and if you have an illness, then are not required to fast.
Sorry, I'm starstruck. I just saw DG doing some. Hello, DG. How you doing? You're welcome. Come on in. It's good food. It's okay. Everyone knows you're here. Huh? It smells so good.
What am I, that smells better than I had. What am I walking into?
It's the Ramadan and Eid presentation. Yeah, yeah.
And a volunteer event benefiting a little.
Oh, excellent.
That was all planned out. Listen at the right time. So my 2020 is really good, if you notice that. So another thing about Ramadan, as Maria stated, right? So it's more getting close to God, understanding what prayers are, reading a lot of Quran, going to the mosque. And so you go to a mosque, not just the 5 times, or you try to do a little bit more, so that you can get a blessed month. So it's supposedly everything is multiplied in that. So you want to do as much as possible. Me being from the accounting background, I'm like, okay, if I do one charity in Ramadan, it's multiplied by 70 times. I'm like, yes, that's the day I have to do it. So that's how people think about it. People do the next slide. The quick guide. It's yeah. So you can eat in front of us. You just hear us stomachs. That's fine. It's not ill mannered unless you are in our face. So it's all about intent, right? You can say Ramadan Mubarak. Coffee is the hard part. We'll still go to the coffee chats and all that with everyone. We can be in the lunch hours. We can be participating, but we just won't be eating, right? So that's what you know. And it'll be nice if you have questions, ask any of your colleagues. They would be more than happy to talk about stuff. So yeah, that's mostly what this slide is talking about. Yes, that's the best slide. So it's a lot of food, right? So when you think about being hungry for a long time, people just eat. I mean, you're not supposed to. It is a basic eating in the morning, basic eating at night, but you know humans. And we just go all out. At iftar, it's like after 17 hours, we just go for food. So that's a few tables from a few team members out here that use the island here. But yes, thank you. So that's it. Now let's get into what is Eid, right? So that's what we are celebrating today. Eid happened officially on Friday for most of us, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, so that is also based on the lunar calendar. So if you see anyone saying, hey, I might be off Thursday or a Friday or a Friday or a Saturday, that's your confusion because you don't know if the moon would be for it or not. So just work with us, please.
So between the different sects of Muslim, the reason there's contention is because in our Gregorian calendar, we can see it says full moon's gonna be on this day. But certain sects have a thing where one of the religious leaders actually has to see the moon. So like over in Chicago, there was a big debate because it was really cloudy. So I celebrated, my family and I and our sect celebrated on Saturday because we were able to see the moon Friday night. Whereas everybody else said that the full moon's gonna be on Friday, and so they celebrated, or Thursday nights, they celebrated on Friday.
I was done with all the food in the house by Friday night. So what is Eid, right? So this is the 10th month after Ramadan gets over. It's typically the start of the day. We go to a mosque for an Eid prayer. It's a special prayer where a lot of the families, you wear new clothes, you're excited. There is obviously a lot of joy and party, and then we figure out we can eat. So right now, if you see coming here and at the same time in the morning, I'm like, oh, I can eat, I can drink water. So after 30 days of adapting, body's so used to not eating, then you slowly. But on Eid day, you have such good food. It's all about going, meeting family, eating a lot of food, and everyone gives you food. And it's sort of disrespectful for not eating at someone's place. It's like you eat the same dish throughout different families. One of the traditions of Eid is elders give money. So if you see some goodie bags that we have for everyone to take on the way out, so that it has an envelope. The custom is it doesn't have money, don't worry about it. Whoever is pulling the budget, Adriana, spend any money on that. So it has envelope and then, the elders usually give it to the kids. Token of money, gifts, anything, in the household, right? So that is a way of saying, have a blessed Eid. So coming back to the goodie bags, you have some dates in there and you have, envelope with a surprise in there. So please have it on the way out. And yeah, one of the big pillars, as Maria mentioned, and that's the reason we partnered with Ramadan Overview, because Muslim event Ramadan/Eid, it's all about charity, right? When you hear about the term zakat is any savings that you have over a year, about a certain threshold, you need to give 2.5% to taxes. So that's what. So most of the people like to do it in Ramadan because it's multiplied, right? So any good benefits, any good deeds, it's always multiplied in Ramadan. So you see a lot of people being suddenly generous. That's one of, that's me. It's like, oh my God, he has money, he's giving money. So yeah, that kind of thing. So that happens in the Ramadan month. So one of the give backs is the Ramadan, that's why we partnered up. Eid prayers. So this is just a slide about Eid prayers around the world, just so that you get a sense. It's mostly open or closed. In the mosque or outside, depending on the weather. Chicago didn't allow us to be outside this year, so hopefully next year. And then you'll see how some of our great leaders and team members have celebrated Eid. I won't say this was this year's pictures because it was too soon to put it in the slide, but it could be a couple years behind. You can see Maria there. You can see my dad with a lot of money. That's his money. He didn't know about it, so I just took it out from his account. And then obviously Bitcoin was accepted one year, and then no one spoke about it afterwards. So it's a lot of food. Yeah, that's Rabia. Don't tell Rabia, she's in the slide. And then there are kids with envelopes. If you see there, Imad's beautiful family, Sherry. With family as well, obviously. She's Umar. And there is a quick video that we put together so that you can enjoy and not hear my voice for long. No, that's okay. That's not it. That, so, yeah.
This one?
No, that's me.
This one?
No, next clip. Yes,
This one, okay.